Ndị be anyị ekenere m unu. Asị m ka nke e chiri ya zelu. Asị m unu ụtụtụ ọma, ehihie ọma, mgbede ọma, site n'ebe isi wee na-esore anyị n'ụbọchị nke taa na Eastern News 24. Anyị si na ọ ya dịrị onye ọbụla na mma ka bụ ndị na-esore anyị n'ilu akwụkwọ n'ihe anyị na-ebe dị iche iche. N'ụbọchị nke taa anyị si na ọ ya dịrị anyị Igbo na mma, na anyị yarị ka echi na echi ede agwụ agwụ. Ife anyị na-akpọ ya bụ ife wetara n'ụbọchị nke taa bụ ife anyị na-akpọ ya bụ morning tea n'ilu akwụkwọ. Ihe a bụ gbasịta maka ya bụ ihe na-eme na obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya, ana gbasịta maka nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ. Dịka o si dị, o nwere ihe Biafran Prime Minister kwuru n'ilu akwụkwọ nwetara unu ka unu ga-ya bụ ife, unu ga-esi ya bụ ife na tinye alụ nke unu ife unu chere gbasịta maka ihe ndị a niile o kwugasị n'ilu akwụkwọ dị iche iche n'ụbọchị nke taa na morning tea. Dịka ị na-ege ya bụ ife, dropkwara your own comment n'ilu akwụkwọ, ọ dịkwa nnukwu mkpa. All right, over to you, sir.
Start 50 million vote from our self-referendum. This is a history no other country has ever attained. I want you to note that no country in the history of freedom fighting has ever conducted a referendum and recorded this number of supporters, compliance, and people who are very tired of the host state, which is Nigeria today. I am very happy, very optimistic that from tomorrow, the Biafra people will speak in one voice, especially those who found themselves being used by the Nigeria state and their enablers in Biafra land. And all they do is to use them for years. There is no promotion, there is no health insurance, there is no good pay, salary, there is no good insurance system, there is no good, I would say, retirement benefit. There is nothing to be proud of or to put your hope on after you have served Nigeria and you retire. And so those of you who happen to be one of those in this generation that you see, many of us have sacrificed everything, including our Nkwobi and Ishewu, and all those things you enjoy back home. We sacrifice it to stay in exile, to fight for you and for your future, so that you can have good road, so that you can have good job, so that when you retire, you will have your retirement benefit, so that you'll be paid very well for as somebody working in Biafra government, so that you will have the reason to be a good patriotic citizen of Biafra, so that your children can grow and have hope. And so that you are going to have a society where the government will take responsibility both in the security of property and life, making sure our women are not being butchered, making sure our children are not getting killed. So, my fellow Biafrans, the road to that freedom will begin tomorrow. What do we intend to gain? What do we intend to achieve from this 30 days lockdown of Nigeria institutions in Biafra land? What we try to achieve are as follows. We are trying to delegitimize Nigeria within Biafra territory. It is part of the struggle for the international recognition in accordance with the Montevideo Convention of Statehood. We are trying to prove to the world that Nigeria has lost every legitimacy to govern the people of Biafra. We are trying to, and the Biafra people has lost confidence, and we are furthering this particular confidence that they have lost on Nigeria. We also want to use the opportunity to show to the world that only alternative is the Biafra government, which the people are loyal to. We want to also use the opportunity to prove to the world that Nigeria has failed to solve its political and economic crisis that has befallen the country, and the country has become a failed nation. We want to prove to the international community that the Biafran are well organized and they are ready to to provide solutions to the problem that Nigeria could not solve, especially to the Biafra people, so that those who we are going to left behind, like the Afronjas, who claim to be educated, but the Biafra person was the first professor in their land, so that they will learn from the doggedness and the bravery of the Biafra people. I want you to understand that the killing of Biafrans during the war, which they are using as a tactics, as a tool to kill the spirit and the morale of Biafrans, we have defeated that particular tactics, which they will always remind you. Were you born during the war? Did you not see how children died? Oh, there was hunger. Do you have food? All those nonsense they have used to instill fear on our people, we have actually defeated that fear. Today, Biafra are standing gallantly facing these monsters and terrorists that call themselves state. My fellow Biafrans, we have prepared you for the past 3 years to what is to come from tomorrow. The reason we embarked on countless and countless civil disobedience of sit at home, and the terrorist state and their enablers in Biafra land were busy struggling how to suppress the civil disobedience of sit at home, because they know where we are going. Today, what we have prepared you for, it is time to write exam. This particular lockdown is not applicable to businesses, is not applicable to traders, is not applicable to hospitals, is not applicable to schools. It is only applicable to the secretariat, police stations, and barracks. We are starting from there. If you know you work there, from tomorrow, stay in your house. Because you will be used as a propaganda machine when they have killed you in order to blame Simon Ekpa. Nobody is going to listen to you. We are at war officially with Nigeria. So if you die, you become a victim of the war. The war as of today is not conventional war. And I would like to remind you, I didn't say it. The Chief of Defense Staff, Musa, have on several occasions confirmed that they are at war with Biafra. In the first he mentioned that he is fighting guerrilla warfare. Secondly, he mentioned they were fighting jungle warfare. And then thirdly, he confirmed that they are now fighting asymmetric warfare. I did not say all these things. He said it. So what I'm trying to tell you now is that no matter how they try to cover this asymmetric warfare, which was the last thing he mentioned, that particular asymmetric warfare is happening in Biafra land. Do not fall a victim of stray bullet. When the Biafra Defense Forces, the Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra Resistance Fighters will be engaging these terrorists, our plan is to push them out of Biafra land. It does not matter how many years it is going to take. Even one of the Afronja actually explained what I'm not going to call it, but they know exactly the kind of war that we have, we are facing within the Nigeria terrorist state. They will be the one to be mentioning it. They will be the one to be saying it. All we have to do is to make sure our women and children are defended. They have come with all manner of propaganda telling you, oh, you are bringing insecurity to Biafra land. He is the one causing problem. He is the one bringing the military and all that. All those lies, does not last long. And I have asked them, when they were killing people in Nnamdi Kanu's house, I was not IPOB member. I was not even a Biafra agitator. I was not even part of the Biafra. I joined in 2019. Before I joined, thousands of Biafra has been killed. Thousands of Biafra has been adopted by the Nigeria terrorist state. Before I joined Biafra struggle, thousands of Biafra have died in detention. It was not Simon Ekpa. And what I'm trying to do today is to make sure that the atrocities committed against Biafra people before I even joined the Biafra struggle is revenged. Number one, we must revenge the killings of Biafrans in the 60s. Today, nobody has been tried in any court internationally as for war crime. For the crime of genocide, which is the highest crime that have committed after the Holocaust, nobody has been tried in Nigeria. We will take that law into our hand by defending our land today. In the 21st century, the mark of that, the wound of that killings of Biafra is very, very, very glaring on us today. And what we have to do is to teach lesson to those who have killed us and still bragging after 50 years. After 50 years, they have put a system that have disenfranchised every Biafran, that have marginalized us, that have put poverty as the only inheritance as a Biafran under Nigeria. They enacted a law that made sure that every resources that come from Biafra land is being controlled in Abuja by the Fulanis, while the natural resources like gold in the north is being controlled by them. How can you live in a country such as this, where there are two laws, where they have restructured the country, and in the north they are practicing Sharia law, controlling their own natural resources, the gold that they found in Zamfara belong to Zamfara state, while natural resources in Biafra land belong to the federal government? How do you reconcile that? My fellow Biafrans, this is not the first time they are giving loan or loaning money from outside the country and the Biafra land was excluded. During the time of DK Kweremadu, that is serving jail term in London today, they collected loan from China and not Southeast was excluded from that loan. Today, they have also excluded the Southeast and South part of Biafra in the student loan, which is even a very good development, because before, during the time they shared the loan from China, they gave at least 1% to the South then, because then it was not clear whether these people have been deceived or not. My fellow Biafrans, during the time of Obasanjo, when the 6th geopolitical zone was created, in order to divide the Biafra people, divide us into pieces, so that they will tell you that the 5 eastern states is the Biafra they are fighting for. My brothers and sisters, today we have defeated them by defining our map, and that map is undisputed. The only time this particular map of 40 states will be disputed is when we are at the United Nations. When the United Nations will come, if they like, and we are going to again challenge any alteration of this map to the highest level. So everyone today who is very proudly finding himself or herself in the map of 40 states of Biafra must understand that you are going to be protected at all costs. We are not going to cede not even 1/4 or not even one plot of that map to anywhere. You are going to be protected by the Biafra government, and we'll make sure that everything we do today is using through democracy, not by dictatorship. We have conducted self-referendum, which is still ongoing, and the people scattered all over these 40 states has spoken today, over 50 million of them. 50 good million. How many were you in the Nigeria general election? Because the people are tired.
Tupu anyị aga n'iru, biko metụ aka na share button, share ya bụ ife na anụ, metụ aka na subscription and turn on notification. Ọ dị nnukwu mkpa tupu anyị aga n'iru gosiri ihe ndị ọzọ fọnụ.
Actually, the more this propaganda come, the more I get energy. So it is what is giving me energy is their propaganda. And once that propaganda stop coming, I will manufacture something that will make them to start talking. So what am I saying? The meeting started at about 13:45 in the afternoon and ended midnight. Decision to declare the independent state of Israel. Now, the decision was between accepting the American proposal for truce, which means at this point there was already there was already fighting between Israel and whoever that hates them, and America was pressuring Israel for truce, while Israel is contemplating declaring their independence or accepting the pressure coming from America for a truce. And if they had accepted America for a truce, Israel will not be an independent state today. I want you to listen attentively. America was telling Israel, making a proposal for a truce. Israel was discussing between declaring their independence or listening to America. So they decided not to listen to America. The latter option was put to a vote with 6 of the 10 members present supporting it. So out of the 13 persons that should be voting, 3 was absent. Out of that 3 that was absent, it remained only 10 persons. So now that 10 persons now decided to vote whether to declare Israel as a state, independent state, or to agree on America's proposal for a truce. So they put it to vote. Now 6 persons voted to declare independence of Israel. 4 persons voted not to declare, to follow America. Are you listening to me? How many? 4 versus 6. Only 2 persons make the difference. What you see Israel become today. So when you are talking about Biafra, or people are telling you don't do this, don't listen to them. 1 person can make a difference. 1 person. Now I am telling you this history so that you will now compare what we are doing, where we are today, just within 2 years, and you see that what we are doing is divine. When God said the time has come, even if you call Simon Ekpa a witch, the witch will possess me and will deal with you, and I will accept the witch to possess me. Some of them say I'm a witch. I agree, and I accept it, and you know what witch can do. Now 6 persons voted for the declaration, 4 persons voted against it, and their names are there for everybody in Israel to see who were against the declaration and who actually voted for it. So which of the side of history are you supporting today? Which side of the history? Are you for Biafra or are you against for Biafra? Are we going to remember you as those who fought Simon Ekpa? At the end of the day, when you see 24-hour electricity, we will be looking at your name somewhere in the history book. Which side of the history are you going to be part of? Are you going to be part of those that their names will be written and their signature will be on the Declaration of Biafra document in Finland 2024? Because this history we are doing from 2023 Biafra Convention, first ever, they never believed that actually you can have convention in exile. We did it. They didn't believe that. They say they are paying money to come to Finland. You came to Finland, we had many declarations, including a Helsinki Declaration document, which is the Biafra Charter. We had the Helsinki Ambazonia Declaration, which is the alliance between Biafra and Ambazonia. All those things are going to come later on in the history book, and people are going to study how we outsmarted the most ruthless and the terrorist country in Africa. Now, those who voted for the Declaration of Independence of Israel, now after that, they now went into final wording of the declaration. The draft text was submitted for approval to the meeting of the Motez Ham in Tel Aviv on 14th May. The meeting started again around 1:50 in the afternoon and ended 3 o'clock, an hour before the declaration was due to be made. Despite ongoing disagreement, members of the council anonymously voted in favor of the final text of the declaration. During the process, there were 2 major debates countering on issues of border and religion. I want you to understand that the state of Israel, when they were debating about their border and religion, they decided to omit anything border. Do you understand? Israel declaration did not have a border. They don't know the map of Israel, of the state of Israel. But Biafra today, we have our map defined. Subject to whoever that want to dispute it, subject to the most widely accepted democratic system, which is referendum, which we have already conducted. So today, Biafra has a map, Biafra has state structure, Biafra has every government institution put in place. But Israel declaration don't have a map. Israel don't have a map. And they decided to declare independence without map. And they said the UN can now decide what the map will be. I am telling you, this is something that you need to understand, how freedom is being fought. You don't allow people to ride you. The borders were not specified in the declaration, although its 14th paragraph indicated a willingness to cooperate in the implementation of the UN partition plan. The original draft have declared that the borders will be decided by the United Nations partition plan. While it was supported by some people, it was opposed by another and some other people within the Israel cabinet there. We accepted the UN resolution, but the Arab did not. They are preparing to make a war on us if we defeat them and capture Western Galilee and territory on both sides of the road of Jerusalem. This area will become part of the state. Are you listening? So many things were not defined by the state of Israel during their declaration. Today, we have met every requirement. We have done more than any country in the world before or pre-declaration period. We have met the statehood. We have met the categories to be recognized according to the Montevideo Convention on Statehood. We've overqualified. We have built our own defense forces. We have our own liberation army. We have state to state, 40 state of United States of Biafra. We have administrators, state executive council running each state. We have also developed the state structure as we are adopting the confederating state of Biafra, and it's going to be a confederation state. So everybody should understand that do not listen to what Nigeria is trying to sell to you, that it is undoable. Do not listen when they say, oh, they are just in exile. We are not in exile. We control them. We control the territory of Biafra. We are not in exile. We are also in the homeland, controlling our territory, making sure that we delegitimize Nigeria as fast as possible. Today, nobody will carry gun and walk freely under Nigeria. You will be gunned down. And if you succeed, even if you are walking, carrying gun as a Nigeria, you will be looking left and right. You're not going to have peace. And we will never give them peace until they withdraw from our land. Our main objective and aim today is to make sure that Nigeria withdraw their terrorists they call army, the terrorists they call police, the terrorists they call air force that are coming to bombard innocent people in Biafra land. That is our target. And this target must be met. After December, we must make sure that we have nothing else to do other than neutralizing the presence of Nigeria in our land, including attacking the presence, their offices, because this is where they stay and plan and execute the attack on Biafra people, the terrorism against us, against our women and children. Those offices, barracks, must not be allowed to stay under Nigeria in Biafra territory. And that's the next thing we are going. So 2nd of December is a day that the beginning of the end of Nigeria within our territory will start. My people, do not allow anybody to dictate to you that what we are doing now have not been done before. We don't need them to have been done before. We develop the system that works for us. We develop the way we are going to live Nigeria. And it is only us that this particular system and approach is going to work for. Nobody else. Because nobody else have been subjected to the manner of system that we have subjected to in Nigeria. My brothers and sisters of Biafra, rejoice! The days ahead will be light, and Nigeria will know that those people they killed in the 60s have possessed all of us. And when we don't have answers to many questions, they give the answers to us. That's why they can never understand what is happening until the end of this road. I am standing very strong, and the Biafra will be declared in this country, and we are going to defend it with our guns. We are going to defend it with our men that are very gallantly waiting for a day that the show will begin. I welcome you in Australia. Those of you listening to me in Australia, remember the most important thing we have now is the support from the IOU, from the fundraising, until those people who are hiding somewhere thinking that we are joking will understand that this is not actually a joke. It needed to come out to do more than the Israel did. And in the next 10 years, those who are mocking us today will be put to shame. People in Australia, remember that what you are doing today, you are making a history that will never ever be forgotten. As I was reading and mentioning names of people who made the Israel independence possible, you are also making the same history for yourself, because your names will be mentioned, just like when we begin to talk about those who supported this liberation of Biafra from Australia, we'll begin to mention your names. These your names will come one way or the other in the Biafra document. It can never be wiped away from the surface of the earth. We will write how we visited state to state, country to country, soliciting for funds, and they were laughing at us. They will tell you how Simon EKPA was so stubborn and didn't listen to anybody. And from nowhere, they were calling him that small thing in Finland. But today, look at the change of things. It is no longer that small thing in Finland. You see that small thing in Finland has grown like a big python, swallowing all the evil in Nigeria. And it is going to happen koro in their eyes. They will say, what were we doing This guy don't go foul. That is how it is going to end. I am telling you the fact. This thing that is going to happen in Finland from 29th of November to the 3rd of December will be the highest history made in humankind for freedom fighting. I welcome you all. Thank you for inviting me in Australia. Let God touch your mind to understand that we need funds to buy arms and ammunition to defend our land. Thank you.
Egbo mana ege ntị daalụ nne na ụmụ ife ka unu si wee na-esoro anyị n'ilu akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24 n'ụbọchị nketa anyị na-akpọ ya morning tea. Unu anụgonu ya bụ ife mgbakọrịta ụka ya bụ ife Maazị Simon Ekpa bụ Biafran Prime Minister or Biafran Public Government in exile dịka o si dị n'afọ ka o si ada n'iru akwụkwọ. Gịnị ka ị nwere ikwu gbasịta maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile kwugasị n'iru akwụkwọ dị iche iche dropụla ya on the comment section below. Ọzọ dịkwa ka ibe ya bụ na nke a bụ ụbọchị izizi gị na-esonyere anyị n'iru akwụkwọ, onye na-afụ ya bụ ihe onyonyo anyị kaba alụ ka ị like ya and turn on notification, share kwe ka o wetakwa ndị ọzọ ụmụnne anyị dị n'ebe dị iche iche aka. Daalụ nne na Igbo ọma na-ege ntị. Oge na-adịrị anya onye ndu ya apụta na n'ụlọ mkpọrọ. Ka emesịanụ ụmụnne m.